Dream Machine Toyota, Michael McDowell. Michael, tell us how you feel today and how it was out there for practice on the track.
Well, I think it's just pretty remarkable that I'm here today driving. I mean, that was obviously a very serious wreck, and I just want to thank everybody at NASCAR who have really worked hard on making this new car safe, and all the tracks that have spent the money and took the time to add the safer barriers. Obviously, it was a lifesaver yesterday. There's tons of people that are a part of this whole process, and but it still goes back to those guys at the shop at Michael Waltrip Racing who are tightening the bolts and welding things in, and they did a remarkable job, and I really thank them and Toyota. Toyota does all our chassis, TRD does, so everybody had a piece of this, and I just feel very fortunate to be here and being able to drive today, and I'm just glad we got through those practices there without any drama. We definitely need to get through tomorrow's race without any hiccups.
We'll open up to questions from media. As a courtesy, please state your name and organization. We'll start here. Go ahead.
Terry Blunt, ESPN.com. Michael, have you guys been able to determine maybe exactly what happened yesterday? There was some thought even you guys might have blown a right front tire. Does the team know now, maybe what caused the accident to happen?
No, we don't know what caused it. I mean, there's obviously a couple different theories, and one was something broke, two was got into the oil dry, and three was the driver didn't know what he was doing. So I'm going to go with the first two, just because I was here yesterday morning talking about I didn't know what I was doing. So we'll go with the first two. But unfortunately, we hit so hard. There's no way we're ever going to determine what happened. And I came off of turn 4 on the first lap, and it was just really, really tight. And I told the guys that, man, I'm going to run another lap. This thing was really bad. And I got down in turn 1, and it all just got pretty crazy all of a sudden. My first initial reaction was that something had broke because the car pulled a little bit to the right, and then that's when I yanked it to the left. That's when it got loosed. But it looks like it just got loose coming off the wall, but I felt like there's something happened before that point. And I don't know if that was the oil dry or if all the way against the wall there was oil. The reason I opened up my line was I was so tight that first lap. I knew I needed to open up my turn to be able to get it down to the bottom. Like I said, just really unfortunate for everyone on 00 Aaron's Dream Machine because we don't have a ton of cars. We are a 3-car team, but with the new car, everybody's working really hard to get a fleet going, and we just took one out of the fleet. So I'm definitely sorry to all the guys back at the shop, and I know the Fab Shop will be working Saturday and Sunday now to get another car ready. So just unfortunate, and just a lot of things yesterday, a lot of emotions. Obviously upset about the fact that we did wreck, but at the same time I feel very grateful and blessed that I'm sitting here right now because 5 years ago, 4 years ago, maybe just a year ago, I don't think that would be probably possible.
We're going to go David, Bob, and Jeff.
I know this David Pull's over. I know you talked to pretty much everybody in America in the last 24 hours. I've seen myself on 3 shows. Was there was your parents here? Your wife? Tell us about the reactions, the first reactions you got from people who care about you. Did your wife come and give you a great big hug around the neck? What was that like?
Well, we'll start off with my wife. My wife and I have been together since we were 15 years old, so we've been through some wrecks before. But obviously this was the most severe one, and I think once she saw me, she was okay. But then after, she was pretty shooken up just about the whole ordeal, and they replayed it 1,000 times, and it's pretty horrific to watch. But she's doing well, and my dad back at home, he was pretty torn up, watching it happen and not really knowing if I was okay. They said I was okay, but he didn't really know because he wasn't here. So, and then when I told him I was okay, he thought I was lying to him. So, but everybody's good. I woke up this morning feeling great, and it's tough to watch any race car driver, whether it's family or not, have a wreck like that. And I'm done being the test dummy for the COT, though. I'm just going to make that clear that I'm going to let somebody else do it.
Bob Margolis with Yahoo Sports. Last weekend, you got us all to write about you with the Jeff Burton deal. This weekend, now the wreck. So you don't have to keep doing stuff like that to get us to write about you, first of all.
I hear you,
yeah.
Man.
And there's really nothing you're going to be able to do to top this. But how is this newfound celebrity, how's it sitting with you? Obviously you've been on all the talk shows and you've been on the morning shows, and everyone who doesn't even know anything about NASCAR knows now who Michael McDowell is. So How's this celebrity sitting with you?
Well, I have two feelings about it. One is that I want to be in the media spotlight for the right reason, and that's for being a good race car driver and running well. The second part of it is that you take it whenever you can get it, especially with the way that this sport is right now. We don't want to go out there and wreck cars to get on TV. That's never the plan. But if you're going to do one as spectacular as we did yesterday, we'll definitely soak up as much as we can get. But the goal is that I want you guys to write about on Sunday that I had a horrific wreck and I came back and ran in the top 20 on the lead lap and moved up another 2 spots in the points, because that's what matters to me. Nobody's going to forget this wreck, but it doesn't guarantee me that I'm going to have a ride. The only thing that guarantees me having a ride is performance. So that's what I'm going to focus on, and just climb back in there and do it.
Jeff Gluck from NASCAR Scene. Michael, I want to ask you more about the reaction, of your family and friends and everything. I mean, when you get in something like that, is it almost like you have to do a second job of trying to convince people that you're okay, and because they're obviously upset to see that? I don't know if more so than you are to be in it, but for them to go through that, are you sort of acting as not like peacemaker, but just to sort of assuage their fears that you're hurt?
Well, it is a tough situation. Like I said, my dad, he didn't really believe that I was all right, but spoke to him a few times last night, and but for me, it's something that we all know that racing cars at 210 miles an hour is dangerous, and it's just a part of the job that we do. And unfortunately, it takes big accidents like that for us to remember that. But if you're thinking about getting hurt out in a race car and you're worried about that, you won't be much of a race car driver. So, my big goal this morning was to jump back in and get going and not take my time, just go out there and get going as quick as I could and let it get behind me. So I think we did a good job of that. We definitely have a little bit of work to do on the 00 Aaron's Dream Machine, but David Ruderman was really quick in that happy hour, so we'll lean on him for some support setup-wise, and we'll hopefully have a good race car for tomorrow.
All right, we've got Jenna, Jim Pedley, Lewis, Gary. We'll come back over here.
Jenna Fryer, AP. Same thing along the lines of the reaction, more so inside the garage. I know a lot of the veteran drivers watched it. Everybody seems to be talking about it. So anything that you've heard from them? And number two, have you had to have any conversations with NASCAR, since not so much about the accident itself, but have they sat you down and talked to you at all?
No. To answer your first question, the garage obviously was very concerned and was glad to see me okay. There's a lot of people in the garage area that I don't know, and they don't know me, but I got to know them a little bit yesterday. And, I think that, as a community, as a whole, everybody cares about each other. We race hard on the weekends, but nobody wants to see anyone get hurt. And, definitely everybody, stressed that to me yesterday. So I think everybody was very supportive and also glad to see that the new car is doing what everybody's talked about, and it is safer. I don't know how many bad wrecks there's been like that. I know there's been a bunch, but that first initial impact straight into the wall was pretty severe. So, just to be able to walk away from that, let alone rolling down the track 10 more times after that. So, I think that the new car is awesome, and I really appreciate what NASCAR's done. And Michael Waltrip says it best when everybody gives the new car a hard time, that you got to remember it's a safer car, and I think we proved that yesterday, that it's for sure safer.
Yes. Or Helton, right?
No, the conversation was, I'm glad to see that you're all right, and everybody was happy about that. As far as the circumstance goes, I'm already in trouble, so I don't want to get myself into any more trouble. But I think that, 2 cars went before me, and they were fine. Obviously, there was a lot of oil dry. I think maybe I just was up a half a lane higher than they were, and where I was, it wasn't completely clean off or ready to be run. And it's a shame, because in qualifying, you don't get a second chance. You go in there as hard as you can, and you hope it sticks. I mean, I know that there's a lot of experience to this, but I can tell you that every driver will probably tell you the same, is that when you go down in turn 1, you just hope that the car is going to do what it's going to do, because you commit so early to it. And, definitely anything that can upset that makes it a busy day like it was yesterday. But you look back at the footage, there's a lot of things that I could have done differently as well. So we'll learn from it and move forward. I overcorrected quite a bit, but it also happened before I even turned in. So I felt like my butt hasn't failed me yet. It usually tells me the right thing to do, and I haven't tore up a lot of race cars. So I usually rely on my butt a lot.